No one is perfect, not even the Uggs. But don't tell them I said that. Here are some screw-ups, edits, and extras from the last episode of The Ugly Truth. We call them Ugly Cuts.
It's true. Oh, okay. All right.
One.
Let's see. Well, as you know, I was very furious at Skype today.
Yes.
And everything's been reset. And so I'm trying to reset everything because it's going to... Okay, there we go. I'm listening. I'm there. Right.
So that way
Right.
I don't know how to explain
I know. I do understand because...
You know what I mean.
Mini psych ward on hand whenever you want. Anyway,
Oh
yeah.
God.
So the fish is still alive. It does tend to relax by floating up and letting it kind of suction, but not as much as it did a week ago. So I think I've definitely shaved some time off of its life, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna die. So but it was a close call.
You need to get like some pH balance, like drops
Definitely.
or something like that, or powder or something.
We're thinking there was some like spores in the sand, like
maybe
because we buy sand instead of rocks. And so I'm thinking that wherever the sand came from, there was algae in it or something. Now, the second time it's not as bad because I washed the crap out of it.
Yeah.
But it's still there. So I'm like, well, we just need to kill the spores. That's the only way we're going to get rid of it. And, there are things that you can put in tanks that won't kill fish. So I'll just do that.
I would just get some, like a pH balance kit.
Mm-hmm.
And they're only like $5 or something like that.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. So no more of taking the fish out of the tank, man. That thing is. I mean,
don't put it in the sink for God's sake.
Well, what's funny is now when I do it, they're nowhere near the sink. They're over by their tank now. I never move them over there for fear of that again. I can't do it. It was traumatic.
So you're like scarred because of what happened.
What's even worse is that Alan tells that story. He tells that story.
He probably does.
He's like, you want to know how I knew it wasn't going to work? She killed my animals.
She not just that, she butchered them.
And not only that, but she did it twice. She double killed it.
Who turns the garbage disposal on a fish?
A crazy person. Yeah, it was a total accident. I mean, it was just, but they don't do that anymore. Well, they still do it actually. If you go in the kitchen, the disposal and the light switch are right next to each other. What fool, what insane person designed a kitchen to be like that? Like, that's so ridiculously dangerous.
Well, you know how apartments are. They just, they're all tiny and there's no countertop space.
The disposal switch is right next to two light switches in my kitchen. And my kitchen's big. They're all, because all the all the wiring is in one spot. So it makes sense in that aspect, but not really. Not really. Most humans are stupid like me. Yeah. And they're going to turn on the wrong switch 100 times before they realize that's not the one.
My house is covered in switches.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, my God. There's a switch for everything.
Do you know
it's covered in locks, too.
Well, that's good.
I mean, if you think you've locked everything and then you go to bed and then you realize the next morning you forgot to lock something. So, I mean, it was all for nothing because someone could have come in.
Someone would have come in anyway. That's all. The only good thing about Mission is that it is always moving. And there's usually no accidents. We've never, we went through it a couple of times this last week, and other than it being gridlock, it feels like gridlock. It's not, because things are constantly moving, so it's just
there's
bad.
There's just a lot of cars.
There's just a lot of cars. Yes. No.
Well, at least you were coming home from San Francisco, which the traffic is probably not as bad.
Right.
A year.
At least a year.
At least. But, and so actually they have fought before. Mm-hmm. And they did go all 5 rounds. Yeah. And Daniel Cormier lost by decision. And so he's not a bad fighter in the sense that you know, people think like, oh, he's going to get his ass kicked and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, no, he's fought John Jones before.
He has.
And he fought him all 5 rounds. So,
yeah.
It's...
Daniel Cormier what's funny is because he looks like somebody's uncle at a family reunion.
He does.
You don't think that he could kick your ass until you try to wrestle him, which all these fools always try to do is wrestle with him. He's ridiculously skilled. He's a highly trained athlete. He just doesn't look like it. That's the best kind of threat to be, is to not look like you're going to win. And then you kick their ass.
Well, and I mean, since he's had his belt, he's defended, I think, 4 times.
I think twice. At least twice.
At least twice.
Yeah. You might know better than me, actually. You follow it a little bit more than I do, but I think it's at least twice.
I mean, twice for sure, but I thought it was a little bit more, but I could be wrong.
Oh, I don't know.
And so he's never done drugs. He's only ever done
what the hell is going on in there?
Olivia,
what is that?
Ryan, what is that? What's that sound? No, not the microwave. The what? Okay, why don't you just shut my door? Hi, sis. So, I would really like to see him beat him and retain his title, but that's what I hope to see.
You would like to see. You just would like to see Cormier win.
I would, but
women are not going to rule the UFC. No one's going to pay ever again to see Amanda Nunes headline a pay-per-view ever. Because she fucked it. She screwed it up. So anyway, I completely respect your opinion on it. I'm less about that because I remember, I think I was having a debate with our mom about it once. She was saying something about, I think it was Prince or something, that she didn't like him because he seemed so immoral, his songs and the way he behaved and all that stuff. And I said, the guy that basically retired after fighting Cormier for the belt, Rampage? The guy that, remember the one? And
was it Rashid?
No, not Rashad. Anyway, that guy, I think it was Rampage.
Johnson.
No. Maybe. Anyway, he almost knocked Cormier out. He punched him and he rung his bell and instead took him to the ground. And there's a lot of controversy as to why he did that. But so I think he can be knocked out. I mean, he's an older dude. So
I don't know.
Donald Cerrone's fighting.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
So excited. I just love watching him.
There's actually a lot of good fights. So
yeah. So although
be a good ticket.
Yeah, I think so. Although I am having a conscience about knockouts and head punches and stuff like that. I won't stop watching it. I'll still watch. So that's my conundrum, is that I still will watch them beat the crap out of each other with finite skills.
Thanks for checking out this week's Ugly Cuts. Join us for an all-new episode dropping every Sunday on your favorite podcast platform and, of course, uglytruth.com. That's UGLEE truth.com.